What's going on, everybody? It's the Super Robot, and today we're going to talk about Transformers Age of the Primes, number 1 of 5. The first, or I don't know, whichever side he is, he's an armed Bruticus. So we have the first of the Combaticons here, and we have Vortex. We have him in his helicopter mode. He is a helicopter now. The way that they have him configured, we'll talk about that later. This is a different configurations that I like to use. Saw this on another YouTuber's video and we'll show that off. But as always, first we'll show off the packaging here. And then after that, we'll show off the vehicle mode and do comparisons. And of course, you see the packaging is right here. Here is the Age of Primes Combaticon VORTEX. On the side, you see some of the Age of the Primes characters here. And then, of course, if we turn it over here to the side, on here, we see that this is the picture of Bruticus. As you can see, and he's almost in his combined mode. And we can see that Blastoff is on his right or our left. And there's a space for Vortex on the other side. And then over here, we could see where there is Swindle, who is on his right or our left for the leg, and Brawl, which is on the right, and of course, our left, our right, his left leg. So we'll be seeing those, of course, in the future. And on the back here, we can see how many steps it is to transform. 19 steps. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. So we already got the box instructions there in the box. Let's go straight to the vehicle mode here. And he is a helicopter. Now they have you to put this gun here. There's a little like peg right there where you can peg the gun onto the side. And it's got these little things here on the bottom. But I found something different because a lot of people remember that he had a little gun in the middle right here. So you can take those little end guns that you would stick here somewhere, and you could kind of peg them like this. See the little peg things right there. Let's zoom in on that. And then from here, you see that little peg hole right there. And then just put the guns right there. And it kind of just, if you think about it, it probably was intended, but maybe they couldn't. Maybe they couldn't do it. Maybe it's something weird thing in the packaging, but you know, you can see it there. I do like the propeller. It's very nice, a lot nicer than what we got with Combiner Wars or Unite Warriors. And if you see him in the corner, that is Unite Warriors. He'll be out very shortly. But we're going to compare him to some other vehicles. And let's see if we have a ruler. Yes, y'all know my boy. He should have his own channel. He is the Westcott stainless steel ruler that loves to disappear, and then I'll be cleaning up and he's like, hey, I'm over here. Like, you weren't here before. He'll be going on the trips, man. And he is about, now we're not going to measure the guns since they weren't supposed to be part of the configuration, but let's just measure the bot. He is about 6 inches in length, and with the cannons, it puts him right at about 7. So that's pretty good. So, of course, he is a deluxe, and he will be a arm piece. As you well know, he does fit on Superion, and, of course, we will show that off later. We're going to put Slingshot right there, and you can see he doesn't have his guns. His guns are in the box with in Silverbolt's box. But as you can see here, so far, of all the combiners that we have in the modern era, with the exception of Minosaur, and I'm not really going to go back and grab Minosaur for this video, because really, I'm not. That'll be for another video. But as you can see here, here is a Age of the Primes aerial bot, Slingshot. Of course, there's Vortex, one of the first Combaticons released, and the Constructicon from the Studio Series 86, Scrapper. So these are what we have so far, and we'll take them out of the way. There's not just really to show off there. And we're going to show him off against none other than Vortex from Unite Warriors. Now, you're going to see some oddness here because with the Unite Warriors version, they remolded Vortex to have 4 blades instead of 2, like the Combiner Wars version. However, The blades are very loose in here. And this blade this is an extra blade from one of the, I think some spare parts I have from some Combiner Wars that I use just to, in case these break, I have spare parts. And I couldn't find the colors that match. So this one is a gray one. I think this, yeah, from Vortex. So from the Combiner Wars Vortex. I don't have he's just parts. I got him in parts. It's a lot of stuff I got. So he does have 4 blades, but yeah, they're not held in very well with these friction points. And they're remolded, but I will say I love the colors on the original Vortex. This is one of my, on the Unite Warriors. I love the colors. It's still one of my favorites. I don't know why. I just dig it. They did try to, give him much of a G1 look by remolding everything. They give him the 4 blades. That like cayenne blue with that really, really stark gunmetal dark. It's a weird color plastic, but it looks very dangerous. It just looks dangerous. And, even compared to the, what is supposed to be now the definitive G1, I still like the colors on this. Let's take off the hand-foot weapon. And that was the other thing I will say about Combiner Wars Unite Warriors. You can have hands and, the original intention. But like I said, everybody wants animation accuracy. So you can't have both, okay? And, you got what you got. So when they go back to not being animation accurate and you start complaining again, I don't want to really hear it. So very similar in the deco, but this one is more, the alt mode matches more or less what he would be in G1. And this is again the interpretation. And you can see here the plastic quality, of course, is, Unite Warriors, Combiner Wars. It's the same in Japan. It's not really that much difference. It's just the paint and the colors it's molded in. But you can see here, they're pretty much the same size. Here from the other side again, same size. You got a little Decepticon symbol there. And from the bottom, again, same size. You can see some differences there. Landing gear is the head. The head's behind the combiner block. Nothing to land on. Of course, you can use the foot. And let's just get one more shot before we go, because we're going to be going straight to the next combine mode. And you can see here, so we can just see how they look together. Which one, you would prefer. The colors is what set this off. Because pretty much this helicopter mode was used for pretty much every version of the helicopter. Anybody, Alpha Bravo, Blades, you name it. Even the girls from the Victorion set, and they all use same mold. So let that sink in. You know what I'm saying? Let that sink in. So yep, that's pretty much it right there. And so we are done showing off these 2 modes. And now, of course, we're gonna be back in the always lovely 2 and 2 to show off the next set of modes. All right, we're back by YouTube Magic, and we're going to show off the arm mode. Now, I know which way they're supposed to go. He's going to go on the opposite end because, of course, I have Bruticus, but we're going to kind of show him off right now because the only way that I can show him off is on SUPERION. So right now, he is on, okay? So basically, he breaks in half like like I believe Dead End and Drag Strip, as well as what would be now, I believe, Fireflight and Slingshot. They split apart. So you can see here, this is how he'll look when he is combined onto Onslaught's whatever parts, and of course this is how he looks when he's, and like I said, these propellers do get on your nerves trying to angle him. That's why they fall off, and that's how he'll look when he's combined on a Combiner Wars or Unite Warriors toy. And we'll just show that off real quick, and then we'll get him into robot mode and give final thoughts. All right, we're back by YouTube Magic, and we have both Vortexes in an arm capacity. So to the left, we have Unite Warriors, and to the right, we have the Age of the Primes SUPERION using Vortex as a left arm. Now, it's basically kind of like stacking plates onto, like another part. And at first, yeah, it's kind of like, oh man, I don't like it. But when you see how easy it is, yeah, you'll say differently. Basically with Combaticon Wars Unite Warriors, we did have the option to scramble Obsidian, but I don't know. Everybody was complaining they wanted the animation accuracy, so we got that. Now everybody's mad. So I guess maybe in the next 10 years, if we're still doing G1, guess we'll be going back to this. I won't be collecting at that time. Y'all can keep doing that. I'm done. Okay, not gonna do a third and fourth run. Yeah, I think it's where I stop. So, but I'm just showing it off just to let you know that it's a thing you can do. And of course, if you really want to get a more close-up view of him, because it's really not about Unite Warriors here, we'll go ahead and bring him center frame. And I guess you're saying, well, how come I don't have Unite Warriors Bruticus available? Because it doesn't make sense. I don't have any of the parts but Vortex. So, to show off an arm, I might as well show it off kind of like how their counterparts would be if they all were. And as you can see here, it'll just kind of straighten out the feet. And yeah, just kind of looks kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I kind of like that. I kind of dig that. Let's back up a little bit. All right. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing you can do. Yeah. Looks pretty nice. Now we'll go ahead and get him out of arm mode and get him into robot mode. And of course, we always be back in the lovely 2 and 2. All right, we're back by YouTube Magic, and we have Vortex in his robot mode. And so we're just going to go straight over articulation. And before we do that, let's look at the height of him right now. And of course, he should be the standard height of about 5 inches, which is the standard height of every deluxe figure. Of course, he will be combining with the rest of the Combaticons, and we have him here. Now, the 2 little guns, I put them on here for little arm cannons for support. Alrighty, let's go on articulation. The arm could go out to here, can do a 360, of course, can rotate, in the usual. No fist swivel because it's one part. Has this weird kibble. Okay, the kibble, I don't like it, but it's forgivable to a sense, is because the color, it kind of just blends in, and after a while, you kind of don't notice it, so it's forgivable this time. He does have the typical waist swivel because he does separate, of course, as, most modern figures should have. This does rotate, but I don't understand why you would need to, and it does mess with these little 2 things here at the top, so I don't see the need in doing that. And then, of course, he does have the leg swivel, His legs go out to here, leg goes down to here. He does have the feet swivel, as usual. Leg can go back to here. And of course, he can look in your face. But before we do that, we're going to do the Jean-Claude Van Damme, because he could Jean-Claude Van Damme. The answer is Van Damme. Yep, he can do it. So let's look at the face, because he's going to make you look at his face. And he's got a very Vortex G1 face. Can look up and down. Now, my only gripe is he does have a big, huge visor, which makes him almost look lifeless. And his face kind of reminds me of the copters that form with Ball Fog and Gal Gaigar. They form Big Ball Fog. The 2, I forget their, it's like, one's like a, I just forget their names. But yeah, that's what his face sculpt looks like. But other than that, though, that is the head sculpt, and he does look pretty good. The colors are primarily a gunmetal gray silver with a sort of a midnight blue with the red face, and the Decepticon symbol is on this side. Yeah, that side. All right, so let's compare him with some other robots here, and of course we'll be back in 2 and 2. All right, we're back by YouTube Magic, and we have some robots here for comparison. And over to the left, we have Scrapper, who is about the same size, and then over on to the right of him, we have Slingshot. So as you can see here, they're pretty much all in the correct scale that they should be. And we'll bring out a couple of more robots here. The only other robot I have on deck is Optimus Prime. And as you can see here, they all should be about around that size. Let's get him a little closer there. As you can see, man, it looks good. It looks good. Oh man, it looks good. Do we have any other robots available? Actually, we do. We have none other than my favorite red fire truck, with the exception of Fire Convoy, which I still need to do that review, is none other than Inferno. So you can see that there, because they are, he's technically Voyager. This would be leader in some ways, or I guess I don't know anymore. But there you go. There's just a comparison of some robots together, and we'll always be back in 2-2. All right, we're back by YouTube Magic, and we now are going to compare the new Age of the Primes Vortex versus Unite Warriors Vortex, and you can see the similarities here. Now, I did like the way that they did the paint job on the Unite Warriors Vortex to really give them the G1 look. It is very cool paint job that they did, but the propellers were always the blades were always the issue, and over time they just, that mechanism, that remolded mechanism, just degrades over time. I never reviewed him, not going to. It's not really necessary to do all the same things. But I mean, as you can see here, the newer one does do a lot different in transformation. A little tight in the beginning to get them transformed. Once you understand what to do, it's not that bad, but it's a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. I mean, Unite Warriors tried their best to fix a lot of problems, but in all honesty, it was the best that they could do, but it just wasn't perfect. It's just those issues, like you just can't, you can't get around them, basically. And that's how it is sometimes. But, I mean, for its time, the way that they did the deco, and I did always love the head sculpt on him. It's just a different take. That interpretation is something, but yeah, it does really look a lot nicer. Let's see if we can, let's get a little bit more light onto there. But yeah, it does look very nice. And of course, as always, we'll do the final results and we're back in the lovely 2-2. All right, how do I feel about this figure? I think this Vortex is pretty good. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect by far, but it's a lot better than the original. It does a lot more than what the original can do too, in a sense. Now it can't combine like the original. Now the original can go on, when I say original, it's not the original, but the Combaticon VORTEX Unite Warriors version could be a leg or a arm, but this, he is just going to be the left or right arm of your choosing when you get your onslaught. But that doesn't mean that he's not a good figure. By far, he is a great figure. I really do like him. My only biggest gripe probably is the arm kibble that's here. But other than that, nah, I like him, man. I think he's pretty good. I think that he's going to be worth the money for the first Combaticon that we got him. I mean, he does look exactly like his G1 counterpart. So, I mean, like, what else can I say? I mean, he looks good. I mean, he's fantastic. So, yeah, I definitely would say I would recommend him. Definitely, if you're trying to get the Combaticons, definitely you want to pick him up if you want to have him. So, but if not, I definitely understand if you're, a fan of Unite Warriors. Then by all means, man, Unite Warriors is where you want to go. Go for that, or Combaticon Wars is where you want to go with upgrades. Go for that. But if it was me, personally, I'm going to go for the new. So, what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. This is Super Robot Ed, bringing more news reveals. So then we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.